providing this place to walk so I can share it with others and so that I can limber up my body this morning before I start my day. Thank you for this beautiful sunrise with these colors on the clouds. This we pray in Jesus Christ's name, amen. Okay then, starting to have a bit of color. Okay, and there's the bowls. Put wood in the fire. You can see the smoke down here. It smells good. Like everything is going to the center. I would think it was Northern Lights if it weren't. Good morning, Ellen. Are you already up? What you been doing? It's only 5 for you, isn't it? I don't know what time it is, but 6:30? 5:30? More ice this morning. Haven't made a basket in a while. Guess not during the winter. A little yellower. Uh-oh, I forgot to put my bean in the bowl. It's -4 this morning. Going up to +1 or 2. You hear the heater as we're going out. You can see the smoke from the wood stove has made it all the way over there to the trees. Sort of hanging on the hilltops. I discovered the coolest thing about where we live. These are eskers. And the way an esker is made is there's a stream on the ice, glacier, and then there's a hole that goes all the way down to the ground below the glacier. And in that hole, the deposits a pyramid of debris of whatever, different kinds of sand and soil and rock. And after it fills it up, as the glacier moves, it begins to fill it up in a line from the back of the pyramid. So we live on an esker, and this is right here at the top of Sunrise Hillside, probably right under where I'm standing. This was the original pyramid, and then the soil filled it up back that way. And the same over there, right there on the end, that was the pyramid. So there was a long hole, a mulin in the ice above that point and above this point, right above me, to the top of the glacier. And so it started there, and then as the glacier moved, it filled it in backwards all the way back. And each of these, can you imagine then? There were so many of these holes in the ice. There were so many streams. They made all these pyramids and then backed up. As the glacier melted, the pyramids moved, and you get these long lines that were behind them. And there's so many of these like there's a pyramid back there. Right there. That's the most fascinating piece of information I've figured out. Well, I didn't figure it out, I had to look it up. So there's another one up there, the ridge. And so the end of the ridge, where it drops right off, which is over there by the stream, you see, so that would have been another pyramid, and then it backed up. So we've got that one over there that ends, well, see, there's the end of it right there, the slope across the road. So there's one, and this is the second one, and that's a third one. Perhaps originally these were all one, but the stream cut between them. I don't think so, though. I don't know. The glaciers were a long time before the runoff. Very interesting to learn the landforms. Oops, I forgot this again. We saw a fissure at the stream. I made some little shorts about the fissure. We saw him twice. The second time he was running for dear life, perhaps from the fire. The campfire and smoke. Speaking of campfire and smoke, we better check that the wood stove is. It's just going, just barely. The cold really permeates you today. Oh, the sunshine is. This, I think is this on anything under it? No, it's just right on the wood. So if I took the hose out here, I could wash this. And then it could drip, drip. Willem painted this last summer, but a lot of it has buckled up. I don't know how you keep that from happening. Maybe you have to prime it? Where did that come from? Must be from that tree. Good morning, chickadees. Good morning. They knocked it off again, did they? Oh, it looks like he might have been here again. I slept through it. Perhaps. Yes, I think so. Yeah, fishers go for the jugular vein, right? They go up and they slit a neck, and they can kill a bear or anything else. I've always been rather careful of them. Yeah, perhaps they are the ones that do a porcupine too, because they don't care about the back, they just care about the neck. And that's the easy access part of a porcupine. Do you know that a porcupine is a protected animal for use by people lost in the wild? If you get lost, you're supposed to find a porcupine and flip it over where you can kill it. And then you can have food wherewith to eat. No, I have on Crocs. So you feel that they have really good grip. If I had on my other ones yesterday, I would be worried. There's only little bits of ice here. And if you try and walk so that you keep your center of gravity low and you're vertical, so you're actually stepping on each foot and your weight is landing on it, it helps you not to fall. It's when we're not paying attention to how we're walking. But it's not very deep ice. See, I got good traction here. It's because they're Crocs. They're actually not real Crocs. They're imitation cheap Crocs for $7 from Giant Tiger. Likely made in China. All of that will soon be over, I think. Within the next 10 years, I think. But you know, when we buy from China, we're actually funding our own demise in the future. Like one day they will attack everyone. And they're waiting for their time and they're stockpiling arms and getting ready, and they're going to take over the world. And so when we help them by buying from them, we're actually funding their war against us. You know, they plan to take Taiwan, and they've got like 21 skirmishes, land claims, and they're very busy on the islands around them, the South China Sea and other such places. And one day, when we're all very busy with Ukraine, then they will, or maybe it'll be after Ukraine, but then they will, I mean, just my opinion, but they want Taiwan. They know that NATO will defend Taiwan. And if that happens, then that's World War III. But this could be World War III too. They're now saying that they're going to consider anybody giving help to Ukraine as an act of war, or the turning off of their banks and such as an act of war. Wow, how many times have I been around? 3, 5, 9. Hey there, guy. too, guys. Time to switch hands. My hand's getting cold. Good morning, everybody. Here, I could turn this around and there we go. Hello. How's life? I have to ask you, do you prefer my hair with clips in it or without? Right now it's in my coat to keep me warm. Sunrise. There's the hammocks. Oh, you were looking the wrong way. It's not the hammock, it's me. It's good to go for a walk. Do you walk every morning when you wake up? That's why we have this deck around the house. It costs a lot, but I get to have a life. I get to have a place to walk in the winter when you can't walk anywhere. And that was important to me. Because the outside space was more important than the inside space. Thank you, Tyler. I'm glad to hear that. I decided it looked a bit softer like this to put it behind my ears and have the ear thing covered after. Look, here we have another. I like the clips. Okay. We have another 2 rings. I don't know if we have any more rings. I could make another basket if we do. No. Just those 2. Sun is starting to come up. It's risen, but it rises above the horizon before it rises on me. You do miss the hats, though. Oh, well. I still have a few. I could wear a hat. Oh, another bean to go. 10. I think it's good for me to get all limbered up, especially if I use both my arms and do that. It twists my back and forth, which is good for the vertebrae and the muscles. Everything limbers up a bit. Hey, you see that little building down there? I have this little outhouse building, which is not an outhouse, but it's just a little building where I sit and I observe the stream from the end of the stream. So you can see the telephone pole. Let me do it this way, turn you around. Okay, so let's see, where's the telephone? Oh, you gotta get closer like that. So there's where's my finger? Okay. So there's the telephone poles making the wire go up. Down at the bottom, there's a second telephone that's pulled is short. And that is the basketry dome, and that is the teepee. And then right in between that white area, there's not really, I don't really stretch, no, before I go. I'm just walking. And at the beginning, I'm usually walking a lot slower. This is a nice spot, but you know, because it's not the nicest spot, I don't sit here. Because if I were going to sit on this side of the house, I would choose this spot. Because this is a nice spot where I can swing. So we had one flower. Now there's little black bugs on it. Looks like the black bugs did not stop because of the dishwater spray. Those are Swiss chard. They look really good, don't they? I need to finish this. That's why I brought those cattails there. Got to do that chair, and I got to finish this back of this thing. We were going to have a campfire, but in the evening we didn't really feel like going out and doing it. But that's the best time to have a campfire in there, because it's too dark to want to be in the teepee during the day. It's important that you look in each other's eyes. And if you're not, people don't really look you in the eye, you should probably say to them, we should probably be looking at each other in the eye. Because when you are looked at in the eye, you are seen. And there's something that happens inside you when you are seen. It takes away loneliness. You feel seen. Loneliness therapy is looking in people's eyes. Yes, I agree. Teepees are for the nighttime. So this is a cool thing that I've discovered, that the end of this hill is a pyramid created at the bottom of a hole in the glacier. It's a pyramid that was formed by depositing all those bits of stone, in this case sand. So you see how it goes down on all sides? And so somewhere around here was a hole, way up to the top of the glacier, and a stream up there. But there must have been many streams, because that's another one right there. And then as it retreated, the glacier left more and more sand, and so you get these lines of it, which cause these snaking hills, these snaking ridges. Which means that those ends were formed before these ends and before that up there. But it appears to me that there was a lot of these moulins and lots of little streams on the ice. In the eskers. See my campfire smoke down there. Well, not campfire, it's from the wood stove in the house. But it's gotten lodged down there. I don't see any up here. Let's check the fire as we go around. See if it has lit yet. Oh, yep, it has. It's not going very fast yet. Let's let it go faster and then we'll shut it down. I should probably stop and get some mittens on, because I don't suppose it's good for the muscles in my hand to do this. Ding! And some animal has moved those things on the ground last night. Ooh, it's really cold when it's close to freezing. Goodness, if you only know the temperature when it's close to freezing, if you live in the south, then you'll see what's in my mitten. Please, to keep my fingers warmer, to keep any breeze out of it. And there's one in my thumb top too. Or one in this one. It's amazing how warm your fingers get right away when you do that. So here, some animals have been messing this about. But which animal would have done that and not eaten all of the food? A raccoon would have eaten everything. I may have to sit out here all night and watch. See what's doing this. Okay, you get to see the view behind me. Do you feel you're getting to know my deck better? Things look really big when you look through the video. Like, somebody asked, why is Mary Jane sitting way over there? It's not far away. It was like 8 feet, maybe. It's the other end of the living room. I'm so glad I've gotten into doing the fleece finally. I couldn't get myself into it before. But sitting and pulling fleece seems to be a really nice thing to do. Like, I can do it by the campfire, which is doubly good because you want to be by the campfire. Oops. You want to be by the campfire, but you need something to do if you're not feeding the fire every minute. Sometimes it takes a lot of work feeding the fire. Maybe today we'll get the campfire going. If this branch cutter were not still frozen into the ice, I could cut down the top of my pear tree, prune it. But it's probably, nope, still get lost going in circles around the deck. Interesting. Huh. Well, there's the shady deck. And this one here is the breezeway deck by the living room. So here's the breezeway, and we go through the breezeway, and then we're still in front of the living room. Then we have this part by the breezeway and by the studio. That's the sunroom deck. And this is the heat trap deck by the end of the living room. The family room. And then we go through this part, which is the front deck. What did you just say? Is that the jacket that caused the suds? Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I bleached it after that. The Dove didn't really do anything. But I put bleach in the next time, and it came out pretty clean. All things considered. So this is the north deck. And we look out our window at night, at least I do. I look out the window and I can see the stars, because that's got a whole long deck. The end of it is the trees I planted, and the other end of it is this part, the shady deck. And from the shady deck is the view, and at one end is the corner cedar. You see, there's the north deck with the corner cedar at one end and the balsams, my little cove, at the other end. And then we have in there the tree bench Celine helped me make. She's from Sydney. And the 3 hammocks. This is called the 3 hammocks spot. Where's that other hammock? There it is. And then that's Hairy Woodpecker Hillside there, which is part of Sunrise Hillside. So we have Terrarium Hillside, Dead Man's Run, Cedar Hillside, Deer Meadow, and on the other side is Rope Swing Hillside, and then it's Bill's Land. So we'll do that again. So there's Tree Swing Hillside, and then at the top there is Deer Meadow, and then this side is Cedar Hillside, because those are all cedars. And then this is Sunrise Hillside. And this side over here is Hairy Woodpecker Hillside. And there's a bit of a way to go down there to the pond, to Fiddlehead Pond. And then there's Kingfisher Lane, and Grandma's Cottage, and the A-frame, and the moat. And this is the shady deck. which is shady in the summer, which is a really good place to have some shade. In the morning, you can sit out on the edge of it and get sunshine from there onto here, which is a nice place to sit. You got a face full of it. Did you like that? Okay, so we're walking along the back of Shady Deck. Then we get to this place, which is the corner. The original deck started here, and it went from the side of the house across to where that door is. That was the whole deck from the original house. But now we extended it. I had always had a pole sticking out this way. I wonder if it still goes out here. No, it's gone. It's underneath it. But I had wanted to build a deck at the corner so that you could go around to the back. Used to have some steps here, just fake steps I put there. And this was all dirt. And then there was a desk at the far end in front of our bedroom window in the ground. And so then we have the Shady Deck here. And so this is right outside of the the wood stove. See the living room? The wood stove is in there. Okay, and so out here we have a chair and a roof, and I have all this stuff here blocking the wind and also having a place to be stored. And we keep the snowblower in the back and the lawnmower in here. And then you see that is the addition that I always wanted, that square at the end. And now it hooks up with the Shady Deck. This is the east. This way faces sort of southeast in the corner. And then out there is the greenhouse, or it used to be the turkey shed. And you're there? Yep. And then those are the beds. That's the plateau garden. And I call the treehouse deck out here. It's above the studio, which is right down there. And over to there. The studio is all that. I used to hammock in those hammocks. There's probably videos of them. Terrarium hillside hammocks. Google that or whatever, or see it and maybe you'll see it. Anyway, and so then this is the end of the living room, which was the part that goes into the kitchen and into the sunroom. And Willem's piano is in there. His couch. And it's under my garden, which is upstairs. Look at how big those romaine lettuces are getting. It's almost time to pick some. And then we have this tree that used to be at the corner of the deck. Well, the deck ended here, I guess. No, the deck always came to here. Now, this is the original deck from here to that corner there. That was the original deck. And this is where I had the Christmas tree forest. We had a door there that was just a regular door and small windows. But now there's a shady breezeway over it. And we've also got the woodshed put on there, which is not where the deck was now, but it's beside it. And down below is the hobbit hole and the studio. And then the children's stuff. Then we get to this part of the house, which is the sunroom, the big mess, the stuff room. And you know, when I wanted to put the deck here, they said, "Are you kidding? No way. You really want a deck between this point and this point?" And I said, "Yes, I really want it." And they were so like, "No, it won't work, it won't work." But our carpenter, Dale, you see, it wouldn't work because if the deck was straight and ended right there, it is a big drop and a huge slope. But he brought it back to here. So he made it be able to come this way. And the other guys that were working here on the deck, they were like totally upset that he was putting it back that far. But it worked. So we have a path there and I have a deck here. And you see how important it is to me to have this piece of deck there, because otherwise I'd always have to be going up and down off the deck. Did I forget to put this in this time? I'll just put in one. And then out here, this is the end of the house. So it faces that. where the turkeys come over the hill, or they leave over the hill anyway. And they used to be sheep fields. And the trampoline has been in the middle. We used to have a little chicken shed over here. Do you remember the fire? The chicken burning the chicken shed down? Anyway, and then we had a greenhouse, and the greenhouse started about here where the wall is. And it went back to, well, the wood stove was in the middle of it. So it went back a bit beyond that first bed. And it was on, this is where the septic grows really well. And that's why I put the greenhouse on it, because I thought it would be a fertile soil. But we never really grew in it. I'm going to turn you around again. Turn around. Okay. And then this is where the grapes are. So right here, there used to be all of the pergola with the teapots on it, the teapot pergola. And then over here, before this was the trees grew up or were planted here, I had a birch arbor here. And it had plates hanging on it, and I would tap the plates, dum 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 dum, dum 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 dum. And this place, there used to be, this part wasn't here, right? So the woodshed began about right here, and the woodshed went about that far to the counter in the kitchen, which is right through there. So the kitchen sink is right here, corner cupboard is there, columns are over there. So this part was the woodshed. So you had to walk in through the woodshed, and then there was the outside, and then that was just, then we were in the garden, all the white flowers everywhere. And then you'd come around here, and this was all dirt. You'd come around here, and there were hydrangeas along the edge. And then I put a little makeshift porch right there, just some planks on the ground. And so the perennials came right up to here. Came up right